up, everybody? It's your favorite Nub's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Star Wars Black Series Teebo, the first Ewok offering I've had a chance to take a look at, and I'm very excited to do so. I can't explain why that Ewoks are so rewarding for me when I'm not even a huge fan of them in the movies, but when I got that Hot Toys Wicket out of the box, it felt away, and when I got this guy out of the box, it felt away. So I'm anxious to take a look at it, but in order to do so, we gotta start with accessories. So he comes with a little knife, and I believe it's this brown plastic with the blade painted. He can hold that in his left hand just fine. It's too small for his right hand. And it can fit in his little holster. He comes with a spear, and it's this brown plastic with the darker brown piece painted on and the spear bit painted on. We had the rope wrapped around, which is sculpted. The spear tip is sculpted, and even the wood in the handle is sculpted, like in the spear of the handle. It's great. And he'll hold that just fine. And he comes with the axe. Once again, the handle is sculpted with the wood grain. The axe head, the rock is sculpted, and then the kind of cloth wrapped around it to connect the piece is sculpted as well. I will say that this tip here should have probably been painted the brown. That's probably part of the stick and not the rock, but I could be wrong about that. Otherwise, though, it looks really good. And he'll hold it just fine. All right, so let's talk about the figure. Let me get my camera situated a little bit better. So I was surprised to see that it looks like they're using the photoreal paint for the face even of the Ewoks. I imagine that not to be the case here, but it certainly looks like it because it has that like shiny texture to it. And after I finished healing my thumb that I cut open, I crushed my middle finger yesterday, so I just can't win. Anyway, he's got this headdress on. We have the teeth of like this warthog creature that are painted. These feathers that are just painted, the brown, 2 shades of brown to be fair, and then another feather here. And I'm sure it's removable. I'm not going to. It's a double ball peg from the neck into the head, and then, so like as a result, you get down to there, which is pretty good. Popped off there. Get you a look at the necklace while we're here. The teeth are painted, otherwise it's just that kind of brown paint. You can see the double ball peg. So, and up is a little limited, but still pretty good, I think. Swivel, confused dog look, ball peg is that's a bit of an issue there. It's the socket's a little shallow, so when you go to utilize the range, it pops out. They haven't quite mastered that double ball peg yet. All right. Otherwise, the paint, we had these black stripes on this gray Ewok, and they look good. Like, there's a subtle shading of them, like, they're not, like, hard lines. Like, it's almost like a spray brush was done, or an airbrush. We had this softer piece of plastic here that's put over top with this holster painted, and with his, like, little horn here painted. And then we have a single jointed ball peg, it feels like, for the abdomen. Get you all the way around, a little bit forward, a little bit back, swivel, no issues. We have the arms, which are disc hinge, and they get you out a little shy of 90 degrees, and then the swivel for the 360. And then we have a single hinged elbow that gets you a great run for a Black Series, which is kind of surprising, and that's also where your bicep swivel will come into place. And we have a wrist swivel. I can't remember whether there's a hinge or not. I don't think so. For 2 hands, and the fingers are painted. Now there is, I'll tell you, it's going to be tricky to do Ewoks that don't have a bunch of, if they continue to use this particular mold, that don't have a bunch of these straps and stuff, because without the straps, it could be a little off-putting. Where the cut joint is between the upper chest and the pelvis. With the straps and stuff, I feel like there's so much going on that it draws your eye away from it, so it kind of works. All right, we got T-jointed ball joints for hips that get you out to there, forward and back to there. Dude. Swivel here at the knee, and a single hinge that gets you 90 degrees just about. And the hinge is painted or black plastic. If it's black plastic, that's really thoughtful of them to match the black stripe going down. And then we have the feet, which are on little disc hinges, and they peg into the foot to get you an ankle tilt down, and ankle tilt up, and it looks like it might be a ball peg where it plugs into the foot, so you get a nice rocker. The toes are painted, the bottom of the feet are painted. Like, it's pretty good, man. It's not hateful. I love the details in the straps here, how they're like twisted and caught up. They're not perfect, All that stuff kind of helps, in my opinion. It's pretty well done. Size comparison wise, there he is with Luke and an Obi-Wan. Hopefully that gives you some sort of idea. Comes up to about mid-chest with the hat and everything. Comes up to about the mid-abdomen for just the head of the Ewok. And we can take this and now and show you a new diorama I have, which I'm pretty excited to show off. And here's my recently finished Ewok village. And I'm really happy with it. Like, my wife helped me a lot. She did all the like little straw entryways into the huts. I put him up here because as this shelf kind of fills out, it's going to get trickier to put them in the kind of hard to reach spots. So I figured I'd just get him out of the way first and foremost, and he can kind of be at the highest point because he was the first release Ewok. And then I have tons of space to kind of fill in here. I got my Jedi Knight Luke there, the little fire pit. And the fire pit's removable, so if it gets too full, I can take it out. Little Starry Night with the village going on in the back. Like, this one turned out really quite nice. Very, very happy with it. Final thoughts wise for the negatives, I will say this. First and foremost, he does have a little bit of a hard time balancing due to the size of his feet. They might want to think about enlarging them a bit, especially at the heel, in order to give him a bit more stability. Now, obviously, he stands better on this hard plastic here than he does on my felt, which is why it's there, but it is something I've noticed. Also, the depth of the ball peg socket for the neck is a little shallow, so as you go to utilize the articulation, a lot of times it ends up popping out, as you saw. Third, I think they need to watch the space between the upper body and the lower body where they fit together, because it may not always be seamless. This mold may not be pliable to a bunch of different styles of Ewoks, and it may be better to rethink that in some way so that you could do a variety of different size Ewoks but utilize some of the same pieces. Like I said, with the soft plastic belts and stuff laid over top, you don't really notice anything kind of off, but I think without that, it might look a little unsightly. However, for the first attempt at an Ewok, I think it's really well done. I love the paint and subtlety of shading between the black and the gray. I love all the extra soft plastic pieces like the two straps around his chest, plus the necklace, plus the war dress of his head. I love all the detail that went into sculpting the weapons. The wood grain is sculpted in. The rock textures are sculpted in. A lot of love went into that. I love the horn sculpted into the strap. I love the holster for the knife sculpted into the strap. Well, I guess that's a separate piece to be fair, but you know what I mean. The fact that they did the face paint on the face is like surprising but welcomed. A lot of the articulation is way ahead of what you would expect. As long as the head stays in place, that works well. The range of the elbow works surprisingly well. If they could apply that to the rest of their figures, they'd be in really great shape. The feet are well articulated. The knees are well articulated. Like, there's a lot here that's really, really, really done well and extremely promising for where the Ewoks could kind of go in the future if this is their jump off start. So a strong recommend from me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.